All right, so we are now coming towards the end of week 9 of the Big 3 Challenge, where I'm looking to get stronger in my 30s than I was in my 20s in the squat, bench, and deadlift. It's been a super productive month. There's been a lot going on, from travel to proposals to, as always, enjoying my beers on a week-to-week basis. Now, believe it or not, the program design hasn't changed at all across the last 9 weeks. If I'm being completely honest, I've kind of sacked off the running for the time being, and I'm just putting all of my eggs in one basket for this strength-based goal. So typically training Monday, Wednesday, Friday. However, sometimes I have had to adjust just based off the busyness of the week, whether that's due to travel, work, or socials, and often then just shifting it into the weekend. So where I end up training Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Now, every session, as always, is based around one of the big lifts. So one session will be based around the squat, the other will be based around the deadlift, and then the other one will have more of an emphasis around the bench press itself. Now, to give you a bit of an update on the numbers, so my squat has currently peaked at 3 repetitions at 145 kilos. So although this is still the biggest mountain that I have to climb with the goal of hitting 180 kilos, I'm definitely happy with the progress. However, I do feel that over time, I'm probably going to have to put more effort into the squat. And by that, I'm probably going to have to start rotating around the deadlift, where one week I won't deadlift in order to allow my lower back to recover, so then I can squat heavier. Because at the moment, my deadlift is probably my best lift. And this week I managed to achieve 205 kilos for 3 sets of 3. Which only puts me 15 kilos away from hitting that 220 kilo deadlift. This is definitely the lift that I enjoy the most and I find the most comfortable. But with this goal, I don't just want to get a scrappy repetition. I want to be able to lift these loads for a confident 3 solid reps. And that's the 180 kg squat, that's the 220 kilo deadlift, and that's the 140 kilo bench. Now the bench press is also coming along nicely. And again, so far I've managed to build up to 3 repetitions or 2 sets of 3 for 120 kilos. So I'm 20 kilos out on the bench, I'm 15 kilos out on the deadlift, but I'm still a big 35 kilos away on the squat. So as I said, this is definitely going to be the biggest challenge. Now each workout has still been based around 5 exercises. And the most challenging one, believe it or not, is actually the one where I'm doing the squat, bench press, the row, dumbbell split squats, and I'm doing some kind of arm exercise after. So whether that is a cable bicep curl or some kind of tricep extension. The split squats thrown into the mix just completely fucks everything up and destroys you. If you know, you know. However, at least once per week, I've always had to adjust or substitute some of my exercises around. When you're training in a commercial gym like I am, and especially if you end up training at peak times, it's near enough impossible to get everything that you want. So at times I've had to rotate out the barbell bench press for a chest press machine. I've had to swap out the dumbbell press for a incline barbell press. I've had to rotate out leg exercises, so again, split squats have to come out, then I end up swapping that for another machine. So it hasn't been perfect, but again, I always knew that was going to be the case, and let's be honest, nothing is ever perfect. However, we are still trending in the right direction, and I believe last time round I did say that I wanted to be hitting 140 for the squat, which I am. I did say I wanted to be doing 200 kilos for the deadlift, which I am, and I also said I wanted to be at least 115 on the bench press, which I am, hitting the 120. In terms of my overall nutrition, again, nothing has really changed. Again, last time round, I did say that I wanted to make more of an effort with creatine, and I am now doing that. Because I'm taking a protein shake pretty much every single day, I've just habit stacked and ended up chucking in that extra 5 grams of creatine into the shake. Do I feel like it's had a positive impact? It's always really difficult to tell. However, I definitely feel that it's worth adding it in just based off the research, and I have no intentions of removing it. Now, currently, I feel like nothing is broken, therefore nothing needs to be fixed. And although some of the workouts are getting a little bit tedious as I'm coming towards the back end of week 9, I don't want to change anything just yet. I'm still making progress, whether that's a rep progression, whether that's a set progression, or even a low progression. And I'm rotating these on a week-to-week basis. I knew I wasn't going to be able to make a low progression every single week. So for me, I'm going to continue to rinse and repeat this current framework until I hit a true plateau, whereby I'm making 0 progress in either rep or low progression across back-to-back weeks. Then I will revert back to the plan and make adjustments. And like I said, the next big adjustment will probably come once I've hit the 220 kilo deadlift. Then I will probably readjust the programming to put more emphasis towards the squats, and then the deadlifts will come in every 2 weeks. But until then, it's business as usual. So the next update will be coming your way by the end of April. Again, I'm going to put some predictions in place. So as I said, the squat is slow. However, if I can be squatting 150 kilos for sets of 3, I would be very happy with that. The deadlift, I would like to think I'd be up to at least 210 kgs for sets of 3. And likewise for the bench press, I'd like to think I'd be at sets of either 5 at 120 or 3 at 125. Some really cool numbers which I haven't hit for a long time. I'm now 35 years old and I probably haven't come close to any of those numbers for at least the last 10 years when I was in my mid-20s. So I'm definitely getting closer and closer towards the ultimate goal, but we're still many months away. However, guys, stay tuned for next time round and I'll catch you soon.